The story is titled, My Fiancé Told Everyone I Lost the Ring. So I pulled up the jewelry store's CCTV timestamp and canceled the wedding insurance. Now she's panic calling because the refund email hit her inbox. I'm still shaking as I type this, so if this comes out messy, whatever. My life already is. I'm Ethan, 32 years old, male, and up until about a week ago I was engaged to Lily, 29 years old, female. We'd been together 5 years. Everyone, including me, called her my upgrade. She's one of those people who walks into a room and it just tilts toward her, big laugh, big eyes. Always the most interesting story. I'm an operations manager for a warehouse. I'm good at barcodes and spreadsheets, not exactly the life of the party. When we first met at a friend's barbecue, I was the guy flipping burgers while she was telling some insane story about backpacking in Europe. She came over later, said my burgers were tragically overcooked, and then smiled in this way that made me feel like I'd just passed a test. That was kind of our dynamic from day one. She critiques, I adjust. At first, it felt like she was pulling me up, sharpening me. Later, I realized she was just used to rearranging people's lives until they matched her mood board. My best friend Marcus, 33 years old, male, clocked it early. He pulled me aside after Lily jokingly made fun of my car in front of his new girlfriend. You sure she likes you, man? He asked. Sometimes it sounds like she likes the idea of you. I laughed it off. There's always that one friend who doesn't get her, right? Lily grew up in this very image-conscious family. Her mom, Diane, 55 years old, female, does that quiet, judgy thing where every compliment has a knife taped to the bottom. Oh, Ethan, you're so stable, she'd say. Lily needs someone boring so she can finally calm down. Boring, said with a smile, but I heard it every time. When we got engaged, it was intense. I saved for 8 months for her ring. Not debt, just grinding. Extra shifts, selling my gaming PC, living like a college kid again. I wanted to surprise her with something that made her feel seen, not just provided for. I still remember the night I picked it up. Tiny jewelry store, yellow receipt, the box sitting in my palm like it weighed 10 pounds. The owner shook my hand and said, Congrats, man. This is the start of everything. I believed him. I had no clue that box was basically a bomb with a diamond on it, just waiting for Lily to light the fuse. I proposed 3 months later, and yeah, it was textbook corny. I strung up fairy lights on our tiny balcony, cooked her favorite pasta, almost dropped the damn ring box in the sink because my hands were sweating. When I got down on one knee, my vision actually tunneled. For a second, Lily just stared. No noise, no witty comment. Then she gasped, started crying, and said, Oh my God, Ethan, it's perfect, before she even put the ring on. She grabbed it out of the box, held it up toward the ceiling light, then sprinted to the living room because the lighting is better for pictures. I was still kneeling when she took the first video for Instagram. That stung a little. I'm not stupid, I know social media is her thing, but I thought there'd be this private moment before the performance. Instead, I'm in the background of her stories, blurry and red-faced, while she zooms in on the diamond. She didn't post the part where I actually asked her to marry me, just the ring and the squealing. Her mom, Diane, showed up the next day with a binder. Not kidding. A literal white binder with Lily's Dream Wedding written in gold stickers on the front. I've been saving ideas since you were in high school, she said, like that wasn't creepy. From that day, the wedding stopped being ours. There were seating charts on the fridge, fabric swatches taped to the wall, a spreadsheet of Ethan tasks Diane emailed me, labeled like I was one of her interns. When I suggested a smaller venue to save money, Lily slammed a cabinet so hard one of our mugs shattered in the sink. Stop being cheap, she snapped, eyes glossy and hard. You can't go bare minimum on the only day I get to be a bride. I wanted to yell that I'd sold my gaming PC for her ring, that I'd been eating instant noodles for months. Instead, I was like, okay, we'll figure it out, while I picked ceramic shards out of the drain. At the jeweler's, when we went in for resizing, I noticed the CCTV signs everywhere. Monitors behind the counter, cameras in every corner. The owner remembered me, even joked, Back already? Not having second thoughts, right? I laughed, but Lily rolled her eyes. On the drive home, she took the ring off to get some better close-up shots. We hit one pothole, and the ring slipped between the seat and the console. She freaked. Full-blown meltdown. kicking the floorboard, punching my arm, screaming that I was driving like a psycho and didn't care if she lost it. We found it wedged under the seat, but that was the first time she said it. If that ring goes missing, Ethan, that's on you. You're responsible. She said it like a joke. I felt in my gut that it wasn't. Update. Wow, I didn't expect this to blow up like it did. I posted because I couldn't sleep and needed to get it out of my head, and I woke up to my phone vibrating nonstop. Some of you were kind, some of you roasted me, and honestly, I probably needed both. A lot of you said some version of, dude, she doesn't like you, she likes the aesthetic of you, and that hit harder than I want to admit. The top comment was, you didn't propose to a person, you proposed to a Pinterest board, and I actually laughed out loud, then felt sick. So, here's what's happened since. The ring situation blew up, like full-on nuclear. 2 nights ago, Lily came over to talk budgets and left wearing the ring like usual. Next morning, I'm at work when I get this long text from her. We need to talk. I woke up and the ring was gone from the nightstand. I told my mom and she said, this is why I shouldn't have let you take it in the car that day. You lost it, Ethan. I'm devastated. Then she adds, I told my bridesmaids and they're furious. How could you be so careless? I just stared at my phone like, what? I hadn't touched the ring since she left my place. I called her immediately. She answered already crying. That breathy, hysterical crying she does when she wants you to feel like the villain. You lost it, Ethan, she screamed. You've always been careless with my things. I'm pacing in the break room, coworkers pretending not to hear. I say, Lily, I haven't seen the ring since you left. Are you sure you didn't? Wrong sentence. She goes from sobbing to rage like a light switch. I hear something crash in the background, then Diane yelling. Lily shrieks, so now I'm a liar? You always twist things, and hangs up on me. 10 minutes later, Diane calls. No hello, just, Ethan, this is unacceptable. That ring was an investment in our family. If you can't be responsible with something so important, what does that say about you as a husband? I'm gripping the phone so hard my hand hurts. I mumble something about checking my car, even though I know it's not there. When I go out to the parking lot, there's a fresh scratch on my driver's side door, like someone dragged a key the entire length. I don't have proof, but I know. Here's the thing, though. One of you commented, check your bank statements and the jeweler. Make sure she didn't pawn or upgrade it and blame you. So I did. And what I found is why I'm writing this shaking again. I'm going back to that jewelry store tomorrow, and I'm asking to see their CCTV from a very specific timestamp. The next morning, I walked into the jewelry store feeling like my stomach was full of rocks. The owner looked up and smiled. Ethan, right? How's engaged life? Can we talk somewhere private? My voice came out weirdly thin. He led me to the side counter. My hands were sweating so hard I almost dropped my wallet trying to pull out the receipt. I need to know if anyone's been in here about this ring. My fiancée says it's missing. I need to confirm something. His face changed immediately. He tapped a few keys on the computer, glanced at the receipt number, then frowned. Yeah, there was activity on this a few days ago. My heart hammered. Activity like, what? She came in, he said. The woman on the account, Lily? He said her name like a question, but I knew. My mouth went dry. What did she do? He turned the monitor so I could see. There it was, a new invoice under my original order. Same ring, same serial, but listed as trade-in toward upgraded setting. I probably shouldn't say too much, he added, but she said you wanted to surprise her with an upgrade before the wedding. She even joked, Ethan loses everything, so I'm keeping this one safe with me. I felt something in me just flip. Not dramatic, just a cold clarity. Do you have cameras in here? I asked. He nodded slowly. We do. Why? I gave him the exact date the invoice showed, the timestamp. He pulled up the footage. There on the screen, in grainy color, was Lily, leaning over the glass, Diane right beside her. The ring box open on the counter. We zoomed in enough to hear a few words. Lily laughed, flipping her hair. If Ethan asks, I'll say he lost it. He's so spacey, everyone will believe it. Diane smirked. Well, if he can't keep track of a ring, how will he keep track of a wife? They both laughed. I stared at that frozen frame of them grinning down at my ring like it was a prop. I asked the owner to email me the clip and print a still. He hesitated, then said, "Look, man, you seem like a decent guy. I'll send you what I can." I walked out with a folded print in my pocket, the paper already creasing from how hard I was gripping it. On the way home, I called Marcus and told him everything, voice shaking, words tripping over each other. He went quiet for a second, then said, "So she lied, trashed you to everyone, and vandalized your car?" Or her mom did. "You're not marrying her, right?" I didn't answer. I didn't have to. When I pulled into my complex, Lily's car was already there, parked crooked across two spots. She was sitting on the hood, mascara streaked, phone in one hand, cigarette in the other, even though she quit months ago. The second she saw me, she hopped off and stormed over, heels clacking on the pavement. "Why are you ignoring my texts?" she yelled, loud enough that my upstairs neighbor peeked through their blinds. "My friends are asking what you did with the ring, Ethan." I brushed past her toward the stairs. She grabbed my arm hard enough to hurt. "Don't you dare walk away from me." I turned, very calm, which scared her more than if I'd screamed. "You should be more careful about what you say in jewelry stores," I said. "The cameras pick up everything." For 1 second, her whole face changed. Gone was the hysterical fiancé act, just naked panic. "Whoa, what are you talking about?" she stammered, voice suddenly small. I pulled the folded print from my pocket and held it up between us, just long enough for her to see her own face on the glossy paper, laughing over my ring with Diane. She snatched for it. I stepped back. In that moment, with the image shaking in my hand and her eyes wide, I remembered something I'd done months ago when Diane pushed us into booking that overpriced venue. I had taken out wedding insurance. In our shared Lily and Ethan 2025 Gmail, the policy sat quietly in my inbox. Coverage for deposits, venue, vendors, and my name, only my name, listed as the policy holder. As Lily started yelling again, voice breaking, trying to pivot to some new lie, I felt my phone buzz. Not a text from her. A reminder from the insurance company about our upcoming big day. And suddenly, I knew exactly how I wanted this to go. I didn't sleep that night. Lily left after I wouldn't hand over the print, but not before she did her usual tornado thing. When we got to my apartment, she shoved past me, grabbed the framed photo from our "We're Engaged" shoot off the bookshelf, and waved it in my face. "You're seriously going to throw everything away over some grainy camera footage?" she yelled. "You're paranoid, Ethan. You always blow things out of proportion." I said very calmly, "You told a stranger I lose everything so you could blame me for your lie. That's not grainy footage. That's you." She tried to snatch my phone next, nails scraping my hand. I stepped back. She missed, hit the bookshelf instead, and the frame slipped. It hit the floor glass first. The sound of it shattering was so loud in the small room that we both froze for half a second. There we were on the floor, in that stupid posed photo, her leaning into me, ring front and center, both of us smiling like idiots. A shard of glass sliced across her printed face. Something in me just clicked. I pointed at it. "That's pretty much where we're at, isn't it?" She stared down, breathing hard, then kicked the frame across the room. "You're insane," she spat. "If you ruin my wedding, I swear to God, I will make sure everybody knows who you really are." "Good," I said, "because I'm about to show everyone who you really are." That rattled her. She went very quiet, then did the whisper cry thing. "You're abandoning me," she said. "After everything I've planned, after what my mom's put into this. You're going to embarrass me like that?" I didn't answer. I opened the front door and stepped aside. She stared at me, eyes glossy and flat. "You will regret this," she said finally, and walked out, slamming the door so hard the peephole rattled. I stood there for a solid minute, staring at the broken photo on the floor. My chest hurt, but under the hurt was something cleaner, almost sharp. I picked up the pieces and dropped them in the trash. Then I opened my laptop. The shared Lily and Ethan 2025 Gmail was still logged in. I typed "insurance" in the search bar, and there it was. The wedding policy Diane had bullied me into being responsible about. Coverage for the venue, vendors, dress, deposits, my card on file, my name as policyholder. The reminder email I'd gotten earlier that day sat at the top. "We're excited for your upcoming celebration." I clicked Manage Policy instead. My fingers hovered for a second. I thought about the deposits, the venue Lily had to have, the dress she cried over. I thought about the scratch down my car door. The way she'd laughed at the jeweler about blaming me. Diane's voice calling me boring but stable. Then I opened a new email to the insurance company and attached the CCTV still the owner had sent me. Due to irreconcilable differences and fraudulent misrepresentation by the other party, I typed, I am canceling this wedding and request a full eligible refund under the policy terms. I hit send before I could overthink it, then called the customer service number to confirm. The rep pulled up my account, went through the script, asked me twice if I was sure. Yes, I said, I'm absolutely sure. Keyboard clacking, a pause, then, okay, your policy is canceled effective immediately. A refund will be processed back to the original card. You'll receive a confirmation email. I thanked him, hung up, and just sat there staring at the inbox. A new email popped up almost instantly. Policy cancellation confirmation and refund details. Because it was the shared email, it flagged on her phone too. I watched the little 1 appear next to the inbox label. 5 seconds later, my phone lit up. Lily, incoming call. Then again, then again. Then the texts started, one after another, lighting up the screen like fireworks. And I just sat there, hands steady for the first time in days, letting it all ring. Update 2. Okay, so, that refund email did exactly what a lot of you predicted, just louder and more dramatic. First off, some of you are unhinged in the best way. King behavior, you proposed to capitalism and she lost. Insurance fraud arc completed. I screenshotted a few of those because they made me laugh when everything else felt like it was on fire. A couple people said I went nuclear too fast. After this week, I don't agree. The email hit the shared inbox at like 11 p.m. I watched the notification pop up on my laptop, then on my phone. Less than 10 seconds later, call from Lily. Then another. Then Diane. Then Marcus texting, Bro, what did you do? Lily just posted some novel on Instagram. I finally answered when Lily switched to FaceTime. Her face filled the screen, blotchy and wild-eyed. Hair in this messy bun that used to be cute, and now just looked chaotic. She was pacing in her childhood bedroom. I could see the wedding binder exploded on the bed behind her. What did you do? She screamed so loud I had to pull the phone away. They refunded to your card. Do you understand what you've done? The venue, the caterer, my dress deposit? Correction, I said. Our venue, our vendors, my money, my policy. Wrong move to be calm. She lost it. Started sobbing, then grabbed something off the nightstand and hurled it at the wall. I heard the crash. The screen shook. You're stealing from me, she shrieked. I already told everyone you lost the ring. Now they're asking why the wedding website is down and why the venue called to confirm the cancellation. Do you know how humiliated I am? I just said, maybe send them the jewelry store clip. That'll clear it up. She froze. Then the rage shifted. If you show that to anyone, I swear I will ruin you, she hissed. I'll call your job. I'll tell them you've been unstable, that you shoved me, that you scream at me. I'll tell them you have anger issues. I actually laughed. Yeah? Tell them to check the scratch on my car door while you're at it. Fast forward to the next day. She did show up at my work. Security had to escort her out because she came in sobbing, waving her phone with our broken engagement photo on it, yelling in the lobby about how I stole her wedding and committed fraud. She knocked over the front desk coffee. It splashed onto the receptionist's keyboard. Sparks, dead computer. Great look. My HR manager, Sara, 30 years old, female, later pulled me into a conference room like, so, everything okay at home? I showed her the CCTV still on my phone. Sara just said, yeah, we're good here, and documented everything. Meanwhile, the refund hit my card pending, and Lily has no idea yet what else I've done with that jewelry store timestamp. So here's what I actually did with that jewelry store timestamp. I didn't blast it on social media. I didn't make a TikTok. I made a Google Drive folder called For Transparency Only and dropped in the CCTV clip and the still shot of Lily and Diane laughing over the ring. Then I wrote one email. Subject line, regarding the lost ring. Recipients. Lily, Diane, her dad. Tom, 58 years old, male. Her maid of honor, Jenna, 28 years old, female, and Marcus. BCC, myself and Sara from HR, because at this point, I'm done being blindsided. In the body, I wrote, "Since there's been confusion and accusations about the missing engagement ring and my carelessness, I thought it would be best to share the security footage from the jewelry store with everyone who has been told I lost it. This is the day Lily and Diane traded it in after joking that they would blame me if it went missing. I have already provided this to my insurance company and employer due to threats made against my job and reputation. I will not be moving forward with the wedding. Please direct any further questions to Lily." I pasted the link, hit send, and just sat there. It took maybe 3 minutes. First, my phone buzzed with a text from Marcus. "Holy SH, bro." Then, a call from Jenna. I stared at her name for a second before picking up. She didn't even say hi. "I am so sorry," she blurted, voice shaking. "She told us you lost it in your car." She was sobbing. "Diane said you were trying to make her pay for your mistake. I yelled at you in that group chat because I believed her." I swallowed. "You've seen the video?" "Yeah." She exhaled hard. "Tom came storming into the kitchen, slammed his phone on the counter, and made everyone watch it. Diane tried to say it was taken out of context, and he just lost it. I've never seen him yell like that." While she's telling me this, I hear screaming in the background. A full-blown meltdown, stuff crashing. Lily's voice, shrill and panicked, bleeding through the speaker. "Turn it off! He is manipulating you! Dad, turn it off!" Jenna drops her voice. "She threw a candle at the TV, Ethan. Like, actually threw it. It shattered. There's wax everywhere. Diane's saying you hacked something, and Tom's telling her she's lucky you're not pressing charges." As if on cue, my phone starts lighting up with unknown numbers. Her cousins, her friends, I don't even know. One voicemail is just heavy breathing and then Diane's voice hissing, "You vindictive little boy." Tom texts me separately. "I'm ashamed of how my wife and daughter behaved. I appreciate you showing me the truth. You deserve better." That one almost makes me cry. Lily, predictably, doesn't apologize. She escalates. She posts a long, unhinged Instagram story about emotional abuse and financial control, hinting I stole money from her and isolated her from friends. She uploads a picture of the broken TV like it's proof of her suffering, conveniently omitting the part where she threw something at it. Then she drives to my apartment. I only know because my downstairs neighbor, Chris, 40 years old, male, starts blowing up my phone. "Dude, your ex is out here banging on your door. She's screaming about her money and her ring. She kicked your welcome mat into the parking lot." By the time I get home, the welcome mat is flipped, my door frame is scuffed, and there's a bouquet of our old wedding invitation mock-ups shredded and stuffed into my mailbox like confetti. Taped to my door with glittery washi tape is one of the ruined invitations. Across the front, in thick red Sharpie, she's written, "You owe me a wedding." I take a picture of it, because tomorrow, I'm filing a police report. And then I'm going to see her one last time, when I show up with an escort to collect the rest of my stuff from her parents' house. Filing the police report felt weirdly quiet. I brought screenshots of Lily's texts, photos of the scratched car, the shredded invitations on my door, and a printout of that jewelry store still. The officer at the desk, Officer Martinez, 37 years old, female, listened, took notes, and finally said, "You're doing the right thing getting this on record. If she shows up again, call us. Don't engage." Walking out with that little case number on a card felt like holding a seatbelt in my hand. Not safety exactly, but something between me and the crash. Tom texted me later. "Come by tomorrow at 6 p.m. to get your things. I'll be here. She will not be alone with you." I didn't trust that, so I called Marcus. "I need a witness," I said. He didn't even hesitate. "Say less, I'll drive." We pulled up to Lily's parents' house right at 6. Marcus killed the engine and glanced at me. "You ready?" "No," I said, "but I'm going anyway." Tom opened the door before I could knock. He looked 10 years older than when I'd last seen him. Eyes red. Wedding binder clutched in one hand like a dead animal. "Your things are in the guest room," he said quietly. "I'm sorry, Ethan." Inside, it looked like a wedding hurricane had hit. Fabric swatches on the floor, place cards trampled, a crushed bouquet in the corner. On the dining table, the binder sat open, pages ripped out. One of the mood board pages, my face taped next to some Pinterest groom, was slashed through with a pen. I was halfway down the hall when Lily appeared at the top of the stairs. Her hair was a mess, eyes swollen, wearing one of my old hoodies like it was armor. When she saw Marcus behind me, she sneered. "Bringing backup now? Afraid I'll steal something else?" "Afraid you'll lie about what happens," I said. That set her off. She barreled down the stairs, knocking a framed family photo off the wall. It hit the hardwood and splintered. Diane rushed in behind her, hissing, "Lily, stop!" but not actually stopping her. "You stole my wedding!" she screamed, jabbing her finger into my chest. "You humiliated me. My friends think I'm crazy. My dad's on your side. The venue said you took their evidence." "Evidence?" Tom snapped from the doorway. "Of you committing fraud." His voice cracked. "Enough!" She whirled on him. "You're believing him over your own daughter?" "He showed me the tape," Tom said. "You lied. You vandalized his car. You harassed him at work. You made your bed." For a second, the room went ice cold. Lily looked at me, then at Tom, realizing no one was stepping in to shield her this time. She grabbed the shattered family photo from the floor and hurled it at the wall next to me. Glass exploded, a shard nicking my forearm. A thin red line bloomed. Marcus stepped forward. "Back off, Lily." Tom moved between us. "That's it. Get your things, Ethan. Lily, go to your room." She laughed, this horrible, broken sound. "You think this is over? You think some stupid video makes you the hero?" She leaned in close enough that I could smell the cheap wine on her breath. "You will never find someone who puts up with you like I did." I looked her dead in the eye. "Good." I finished packing in silence. A couple hoodies, some books, the stupid engraved Mr. and Mrs. mug someone had gifted us that I left right where it was. On my way out, I passed the wedding binder. On impulse, I reached down, pulled out the first page, the one that said Lily's dream wedding, and folded it in half until the letters cracked. I set it gently on the table. Outside on the porch, Tom stopped me. "I canceled the rest of the vendors," he said quietly. "I told them the groom called it off because my daughter lied. I thought you should hear that from me." "Thank you," I managed. Back at my place, I threw my bag on the floor and sank onto the couch. My phone buzzed. A new notification. One of the venues had replied to my earlier email. They were sorry things didn't work out, and if I ever needed a smaller event someday, they'd be happy to host. Someday. I looked around my half-empty living room, the trash can still holding glass from that broken engagement photo, the space on the shelf where it used to sit. For the first time, it didn't feel like something was missing. It felt like space. Space for something that wasn't curated for Instagram or managed by Diane or balanced on the edge of Lily's next meltdown. Just mine. I'm not pretending I'm healed or wise now. I'm pissed. I'm hurt. I still flinch when my phone rings with an unknown number. But I've got my money back. My job is safe. The truth is out. And the girl who tried to build a whole wedding on lies and aesthetic is left holding a smashed binder and a story nobody's buying anymore. Sweet enough for me.